The CRAAP method is a series of interrelated questions to ask when you are evaluating information. It was coined in 2004 by Sarah Blakesley, an academic librarian from CSU Chico. It looks like a checklist, but really the questions are just grouped into themes that can be considered in any order. How you decide on credibility and appropriateness is very contextual, meaning that your use of a source will impact its quote-unquote credibility. So the CRAAP method should be used not only to evaluate the source that you're looking at, but also how you will be using it in your own paper or project. CRAAP stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Let's take a look at what we need to consider within each of these themes. When you're looking at currency, first of all, think about when information was published. Does your topic require current information, or could older sources be useful either to give context or background information? Also think about how easy the date is to find. A lot of traditional media formats like journal articles and books have a uniform place to find the date, but it gets trickier to find on a lot of digital resources. With digital sources, digging deeper to see if hyperlinks are maintained can also be a marker for a more up-to-date source. For relevance, you'll need to think about what is actually contained in the source. Is the article focused on one topic, or is it covering a lot of different subjects? Most journal articles are going to be very focused on the results of just one experience, whereas a book or longer source will include a broader range of topics. Also think about who the intended audience of the source is. Is it way too technical for a layperson to understand without a lot more knowledge on the subject? Or on the other end of the spectrum, is it written for children and it's going to be too basic to use? When it comes to your use, does it support or complicate your thesis? Are you trying to critique the source in some way? Does it give background information or context to your argument? Does it give you a particular method to follow? And again, think about who your audience is. Do you need that more scholarly information, or are you talking to a general audience? With authority, we need to really take a hard look at who the author is, whether it's an individual, a group, a company, a nonprofit, or a think tank. If it's an individual or group of researchers, what are their qualifications? Do they have some sort of lived experience that gives them insight to what they're talking about? Are they part of the group that they're talking about, or are they outside observers? If it's an organization or a larger group, what do we know about them? Do we know who it's funded by? Is there current contact information for the author or the organization? Are there staff profiles with actual pictures of people that you could maybe reverse image search? Can you find a digital footprint for the author? For your use, think about whether you agree or disagree with what the authors are saying and what is going on in the overall scholarly conversation. When considering accuracy, look into how you can fact check the source. Has it been edited or reviewed? Is it coming from a peer-reviewed journal? Are there retractions or corrections to a piece? Are there updates to it if it's breaking news with timestamps? In research articles, do they share their data and method of collection or calculation in some way? Another thing to consider is if there are any perspectives or information left out that you might be expecting to see. Again, many journal articles are focused on one single study or experience. In this case, if there is something that you think might be left out, you will need to find additional coverage with more studies. Before you use the source, are you able to fact check it easily? Is there a bibliography or links to other sources that you can follow? Are you trying to use it to be objective, saying that it supports your thesis, maybe in your literature review, for example? Or are you trying to be more subjective or emotive with your use? For example, are you using it to get a reaction out of your audience or critiquing it in some kind of way? As for purpose, think about whether the source's intent is to inform, entertain, persuade, or maybe even sell a product. Often with traditional forms of media, you will see some labels like opinion or editorial. In research journals, you may actually see sections labeled as research, but what kind of research is it? Does it report new findings, or is it critiquing or summarizing other work? Think about if the source is aimed at a specific audience. Is it technical and jargon heavy, or is it written in an accessible way for more people to understand? How is the information presented? How objective or emotive are they trying to be? Is the bias clear or acknowledged, or is it being hidden from you? And then think about your purpose in writing or presenting. Who is your audience? What are you trying to tell them? And are you persuading, entertaining, informing, or selling? So that was a lot to consider. CRAAP helps you organize and group these questions a bit, but it isn't a checklist that you tally up to figure out whether or not a source is credible or appropriate for your intended use. Remember currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose, and hopefully this acronym will help you critically think about the information sources that you find both in everyday life and for academic research.